Married to Medicine. Okay, third episode. Welcome back to Voices of Reality. We are back.
Yes.
This is our third episode, and we loving it so far. It's getting juicy, so let's just jump right into it.
So let's get right into it so we get to the juicy end. So the first scene was Quad and Simone at dinner. It was kind of good to see their relationship. There wasn't much tea going on in that conversation. It was more so Quad talking to Simone and Simone talking about, well, Quad was talking about her nephew and Simone was talking about her son dating that Asian woman.
Asian, yes.
Yeah.
And they were going over the names, Andrea.
Yeah, so that was it. Moving right along because I want to get
Exactly.
to the So I got Toya and Contessa. And in this scene, this is when Contessa is talking about how she feels about Beverly and when they think it's time to have an intervention.
Yes.
So Contessa did say something. She said Toya's life is self-care. They were showing all the stuff that Toya was doing, which is basically for herself, like the tennis and everything else. And she's living in a rental.
And that's probably why they're in so much debt, her and the husband, like because of her lifestyle and her self-care 24/7. So it's just funny with the tulips, and she's doing more self-care. Like Contessa said, she's always on her self-care journey. Like, stop.
True. So Toya said Eugene was upset with Beverly because Beverly called him a woman on her podcast.
Wait, Beverly, Heavenly, you mean?
Oh, shush. Heavenly called Eugene a woman on the podcast. So Toya was telling Contessa how Eugene's upset about that. I mean, any man would be upset if you call him a bitch. I mean, she said a nice way saying he's a woman, but she's calling him a bitch. I mean, let's be honest. Eugene is acting like a woman. Toya runs that relationship.
Exactly. And that's why as I said, that's why they're in debt. It just doesn't seem like he's not taking charge as a man. She talks to him like disrespectful in front of people. So I get Heavenly's just brutal. And I guess she doesn't really have a tight relationship with Toya. So it's basically no holds barred. Like she's just letting it all hang out and she don't give a damn. So, I mean, listen, if that's how Heavenly feels about Toya, I probably would too if I had a podcast.
With Heavenly, I think she's just brutally honest, like you said, and she's telling the truth.
Yeah, she's just not like caring about like Toya. She's just trying to get that YouTube money. And like I said, I would do it if somebody's not my friend. If they're my friend, that's a different story. So oh well, Toya.
She doesn't respect Toya, and I get it because they're all working women. They're contributing to their household. They're driven for success. And she feels like Toya's not doing anything with her life, but just being a stay-at-home mom, which there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom, but these kids are too damn old. Like, you could run a business at home and be a stay-at-home mom. So Heavenly comes from a background where she's worked her majority of her life. So for her, seeing a woman not work and your husband slaving and bringing the dough, I think that's where Heavenly has an issue, which I get.
And not only that, they're renting homes, they're going in foreclosure, they're having tax issues, like they're having so many issues. And for your man to be like slaving as a doctor in the ER and all of these other things, and you're still a stay-at-home mom, not helping out and contributing to the money, because obviously something's not right if they have to keep, moving. And Toya tries to act like it's not a problem and they putting on a front. But if you got to rent all of these times and you buying all these extravagant homes, you're having tax issues, something's not right. And I probably would feel look at her sideways too. Like, you're still a stay-at-home mom. You at home, you can open up some businesses while the kids are in school. What are you doing?
Correct. And with that whole situation, looking at it, people need to understand, Joe, because your doctor doesn't mean you're rich. They have debt, they have student loans, they got bills, they got everything. That doesn't mean because he's a doctor, Eugene's a doctor. Because I feel like Toya comes off like, oh, because he's a doctor, we're rich. No, bitch. You could be a doctor and be as broke as everybody else with $100 in your bank account. So
but that's the problem. They got,
like that.
Yeah, but that's the problem. They got to live within their means, and obviously they're not, because they're having all of these issues and they having all these financial troubles. They're somewhere they're mismanaging their money, and that's the main issue. And I just think Eugene, as a man, he needs to take charge of that. Like if your wife is a stay-at-home mom, obviously, and like a lot of stay-at-home moms on TV, from what we see, they seem to be in the dark about anything financial that's going on until everything around them just turns to like dust. And they're going in foreclosure left and right, things, money troubles all over the place. And they seem to be in the dark and not knowing about anything because the man is bringing in all the money, signing all the documents and things like that. So Eugene has to be in the know about what's going on. And I just think as a man, and you're the one who's bringing in the bag, like you should be able to manage that bag. If your wife isn't, who's a stay-at-home mom, she should be doing that too.
From what it looks like, it seems like Eugene comes home, is like, here, Toy, here's all my money. You handle the finances. That's how it seems. It's just like, go some balls. You know,
and that's what Heavenly's saying. Obviously, he's still don't got the balls, because they've been mismanaging their money since like the beginning of the series, and it's still the same thing. They're renting again and selling a home. Well, not even selling, moving and renting another home or build like.
Well, the last time they sold her dream house and now they're renting. How do you sell a house and then rent?
I mean, I get it because my cousin did it, and the way he explained it to me, because it's a seller's market now. So okay. I don't know. And I guess the money that it's taking a risk, because the money that you're getting now, what if the housing market collapses tomorrow? So it's basically like pull out the money now, get all the equity you can, and then rent, live off some of that equity, and then put it into another home. And I guess that's what I know some people did nowadays. I don't think that's Toya and Eugene's thing. I think that they are mismanaging their money.
Yeah. I know people flip homes, but again, you have children. Stop moving around. These kids are damn confused. 1 minute they're in one house, 1 minute they're in those her damn kids are totally confused. And another thing, is she living nearby, or these kids moving from school to school? Like, it's just a mess. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of Toya either. So when Heavenly talks badly about her, I'm all for it, because I don't like Toya either. So the next scene, they called Simone. So it was Contessa's decision. Toya is in agreement, of course. They call Simone, and Simone's in agreement with doing the intervention. Mm-hmm. There's 3 of them who's deciding to do this for Heavenly. Now, when they did the intervention, when they originally spoke about the 3 of them doing it, I was like, oh, okay. But then they added the whole group. That's when I was like, the whole group? I thought it was maybe them probably doing it. But then when I noticed that the whole group wasn't involved in the intervention, but not everybody knew about the intervention, it was just like, this is not going to go well. And I think they knew it wasn't going to go well. It was one of those things. There's no way Contessa could have thought this was going to go well.
Well, I think the point of Contessa's doing the whole intervention without her knowing was because she thought like she was going to bail out and not show up. So I guess it's like kind of like, if you do let her know, like, I hate that too. Like, I want to confront somebody, or not confront them, but maybe even talk to them about how I'm feeling. And when you avoid me, like, I have a problem with that. I had a friend like for 20 something years, and I remember she did something to me, and that was like 10 years ago. And when I wanted to confront her, I was calling her, texting her, and she knew what she did, but she would not answer her phone. She did not text. She would not answer my text. And then finally she was like, what is it? What do you want? She knew what I wanted. Then she became really aggressive, and that was almost 10 years ago. I did not speak to her. We stopped speaking since then and went back and forth in the text. And I probably should have did what Contessa did an intervention without her knowing, because me and her I got what I had to say through my text, but she would not answer her phone. She did not want to meet. And I never got it out to her as to how I feel. And I never got an answer or her holding herself accountable. So I get what Contessa's doing. I should have did the same thing.
No, I agree with Contessa. That was the best way. Heavenly would not showed up, or she would have came with a lot of excuses and just ready. So I think they did the right thing, secretly trying to have an intervention. Mm-hmm. So I was all for the secret.
Okay.
So,
I thought you would thought it was like an issue of them not like telling her.
no, when I first realized they didn't tell the other women, I was like, oh, they're gonna be surprised. Like,
No, but then they're gonna alert her. I think that was the whole thing.
Exactly.
It's like keeping it from Heavenly was a whole nother thing beside not telling Heavenly.
Correct, because I could see Jackie calling her like, girl.
Absolutely.
Quite like Heavenly, and then whatever Neela, who knows what she would have done. But I agree that they didn't tell those three, because they are close with Heavenly, and they would have told. That I thought was very informative, and I think it was good to see Dr. Jackie, and a patient that is seen with her and a pregnant woman. And she said something that I wasn't aware of, the statistics that 3 to 5 women die in childbirth. That's a high number. 3 out of 5. I didn't realize it was that high. So
I believe it.
What she did say to this woman who's pregnant is, advocate for yourself, know about your pregnancy, know your body, know what you should be telling doctors, know what you should be asking the doctors, be aware of a lot of stuff. And I was like, wow, like I was pregnant. I knew enough, but a lot of the stuff she was saying was informative for that woman, because she had like high risk with something with her umbilical cord and the placenta. So educating yourself, especially when you're high risk, and also knowing the terminology. So the doctor says, oh, you need epidural, know what an epidural is. Oh, you need to have a C-section, know what that is. Oh, this, kind of know your pregnancy.
Because I've experienced it myself. Thank God my mother is a registered nurse. So anytime I've gotten sick, my mother is my advocate. I think the problem is when you go to these hospitals and it's a white establishment. So when you go in there as a Black person or a minority, they don't take you seriously. Like when you say, oh my God, I'm about to have a heart attack, go wait in the waiting room. But if you're white, they're going to say, oh my God, we got to take care of her. They running over each other trying to get you in on the bed or whatever. But when you're Black, they're not taking you seriously. It's happened to me where I almost died because they didn't take me seriously. So my mother had to be like, no, she's not waiting in the waiting room. Stop playing. But they wheeled me up. But and then they found out, like I was literally almost dying. So I know I
said, wow, really?
Yeah. So I know what it's like. And I ended up in ICU because they didn't take me seriously. Even when I got to the ambulance, the first thing they said was, oh, can I have your Medicaid card? Medicaid. They didn't say insurance. They said Medicaid. So they already assumed that I was on welfare when they said Medicaid card. So that part too. And I was like, Medicaid? I have insurance. There's no Medicaid here. So it's like I'm like sick, having to almost curse the EMT out. Like that's the first thing he asked me. So, and even from there, they weren't taking me seriously, even in the EMTs. So thank goodness my mother was there. So when Jackie was talking about that, I absolutely related about how it is being a minority and being taken seriously and advocating for yourself. Absolutely.
See, I mean, luckily, I've all the doctors I encountered, whether they were white, Black, Asian, whatever, I've had so far good experiences with them. So I haven't had any issues where I felt like, oh, they treated me differently. When I had my 2 boys, I did have a Black gynecologist, so it was just a preference.
Oh, okay.
Luckily, this hasn't happened to me, but I definitely aware that it happens to a lot of women. But I was just shocked at the number of 3 out of 5. That's big to me. So that was good to see. That was also educational for women watching the show. I thought that was really good. There goes the Neil husband, Ms. Gomez, the nanny leaving. You
know how I feel with these kid scenes.
This didn't get to me. It was like, okay, because at first it seemed like Anila cared more than the children. And I felt like when Miss Gomez initially said she was leaving, the children like somewhat in shock. But I felt Anila kept pressing it in order to made it a little bit more like, oh my God, Miss Gomez leaving to make the little girl cry. The little girl did cry, and I was just like, you're getting a nanny. It wasn't that big of a deal. Like,
exactly. I think she wanted to make a scene out of that. This is why I feel, and I'm going to go with what I said the last episode we did. She needs to be fired. She does not bring nothing to the show. That was the most, and we really carrying this on to 2 episodes now about the nanny leaving. Are you serious? Like, this is really what her life is about? The nanny leaving?
You know what I think? I feel when your child is that affected by the nanny leaving, lets me know you're not doing your job as a mother. That don't scare
I mean, I don't know.
How I feel.
If you're a working mother, I can see it.
Oh God! Then ask her who's gonna make the pinto beans. What? Hello. Like, you not doing what you're supposed to be doing. That affect. I mean, they could be sad, but the girl's like, oh. I'm like, did Anila like pressure her into tears, or is it affecting you that bad?
No, I can see that happening. I can see that.
Oh, that to me, if I have a kid, I don't have a nanny. I mean, a nanny, I guess, and a babysitter is different. But if my kid is that affected to where she's bawling, you remember the girl was bawling when Miss Gomez was leaving, running after the car, whatever. If my child is that affected about the nanny leaving, I have to reevaluate myself as
I don't think so. No, I disagree with that, because if you're a nanny and you're there even 8 hours a day while they're at work, that is a big chunk of your life. And especially when you have a bond with them all the time. It's just like if I'm in the way I am with my godkids and stuff like that. Like, I'm not always there, but I know when they leaving me and stuff like that, or if they can't see me, they're crying. They calling me up. My girlfriend's calling me up saying that she crying because I said, like, don't, God forbid I say I'm coming, I can't make it. Oh my God. She calling me, telling me that, and I'm like, are you exaggerating? Because I feel like she be trying to make me feel bad.
Yeah.
But I get it, because if I said I was leaving, I know they would be bawling, crying.
But first of all, you don't got no real job. She's a blogger. You can do that at home. You're not a working mom where I could feel like, okay, I maybe could understand why they feel that way about the nanny. Isn't blogging you're at home?
You are, but I get it. If you're blogging and say you're doing like a lot of editing, you're putting stuff up, you're doing researching, that could be an 8-hour job in your house. And a lot of times I can sit at a computer for 8 hours and not be like on my regular job and just be researching and buying stuff and trying to negotiate stuff or whatever. So, I mean, I think that could absolutely turn into 8 hours a day.
Like I said, as a parent, if I had a nanny and I had my kid wailing, crying, running after the car because the nanny's gone, I would have to reevaluate what.
No, I know that because I have relationships like that with kids, so I get it. Especially when you cool like that and they love you. Like, I've always, ever since I've been young, like, I've had that effect on kids, bawling, crying over me. So I get
it. That mother should reevaluate her relationship with her kids.
No.
Comment below. What do you guys think? If your child is bawling when the nanny leaves, is that questioning a little bit of your parents?
No, because it means that it means that person had an impact on that kid's life. It's very impactful. I know with me, with my friends' kids, when it came up to their birthdays, me and my girlfriend got into an argument and we weren't speaking, and I still went over her house because the kids were so used to me baking cupcakes for their class for their birthday. I still went over there and dropped off cupcakes and everything for their birthday party, and we wasn't even speaking. And usually the kids would make the cakes and stuff with me. But because we weren't speaking, I didn't get to do it. But you know what? I still went over there. So these kids remember that. These kids
I might have to retract my comment. It could be like a grandparent staying at your house too. So I might have to retract my statement, because it could be like, let's say your grandparent is staying at your house for a couple of months and they leave. That kid could be connected to that grandparent. So Miss Gomez is gone. I think she made the right decision.
And I remember when my goddaughter was like, I think she had to be like 7. And then when me and my girlfriend got into an argument about something, I remember it affected her so much. She called me and left me a voicemail with her, disguising her voice as her mother, like saying sorry. Like, it was so hurtful to her. And it made me laugh, because at first she did sound like her mother. Like, it was so funny. And then I realized, wait a minute. And then I started laughing, and she apologized and hung up the phone, and did not even give it away that it was her. Like, but she sounded, so it made me laugh. But to me, it told me, oh my God, like, even she's impacted by me and her mom having, a disagreement. So it was like, you know what, let me make this right, because I knew it was impacting her, because she called up leaving a fake voicemail with her mother's voice and sounded like her mother.
Oh, here go Eugene and Toya. They're talking about Eugene and his work. He's no longer making money as a director. and he's working extra hours in the hospital or extra shifts in order to compensate for no longer being a director and getting that director money. Again, I didn't see Toya jump and say, really, babe, you know, like maybe I should look into doing some things. Like we said in the last video, I guess her being on the show, that's her paycheck. She's probably telling you, look, I'm on this show, I'm bringing it. There's no need for me to have a job. This is my job being on the Housewives. But again, this is not, you know, Toya could be cut next season. This is not a job where there's steady income.
I still don't understand what, especially when you have a platform and a franchise behind you, like Married to Medicine. Like, how don't you start something where you can like make money? Like, this is a time where you should be, or even Eugene should be telling her, like, listen, honey, get up, like, go start the scarf line or hat line, something. Or like, if you smart, you going to turn this into something, into the bag. Like, so it's like, come on, Toya, like help your man out. Like, y'all should be living paycheck to paycheck, as you know, something ain't right with their money.
So Toya has a skin hair line, a skin.
She does.
Line. She has a skin line because I heard heavily mentioned in one of the episodes, and I think way back she mentioned that Jackie has a skin line. Toya has a skin line to where she was gonna allow Toya to put it in her beauty supply store, but Toya didn't bring it. But again, there's a skin line nobody knows. With Toya, she has some business. She could think of different business. Like I was now just talking about it. She's into tennis. She could have come up with tennis wear. She likes
exactly.
tennis.
That's a good niche,
right? A tennis line with skirts and tops and
absolutely.
So that, and she works out with a lot of these women.
Yeah,
I mean, they could promote it. So she could have thought of different avenues in order to bring income, but she hasn't. So in that same scene, Eugene said he wants to diversify his portfolio, his job portfolio, and wants to do something fun, which I get. I mean, he's a doctor. He saw a lot of deaths during COVID. He experienced a lot of stuff during COVID. He was highly affected by it because he was in ER. And I get it. After a while, you're just drained from seeing death and patients, and you want to do something different. He didn't say what it was. Toy kind of gave him that look like, really? I didn't see her saying, oh, really? I think that's a really great idea. What do you're into? It was more like, you better make sure you're still bringing in that check.
No, she didn't really encourage him. I would have definitely encouraged my man because I just think like you only have one life. Like I don't want to work myself to death. And if my husband's telling me he wants to diversify his life, basically like doing something fun, like I would absolutely encourage my man and I would do it with him if I need to. Like if that would make him happy, like especially if he's bringing home the money. Like, so it's like, come on, Toya, like, let him have some type of like extracurricular activities, encourage him.
Yeah, so that was it. Then they had Cecil and Simone and Omarosa. I was surprised Omarosa was on there because I don't like her. So she was on there. They were talking about the book. And Omarosa, I guess, was a New York Times bestseller, and they getting advice about the book from her. I honestly don't think that book between Cecil and Simone is going to be successful. It's not something I would want to read, and I don't know if they're really like that well known where people's gonna want to read their book. Like I don't think
it's gonna be well known. I think they known enough because a lot of people write books and they're not like celebrities. So it's like, and they become like, you know, they sell a lot of books. So I think this is good that she has the show behind her. But
I guess
it's like if you're going through trouble, I think that's the niche, like the target market is like people that are like, it could be therapeutic for people that's going through something in their marriage.
And it'll be good for them. And either way, they'll have a book, they'll promote it. We'll see. I mean, they know a lot of married people. So
yeah,
you don't even have to be married. It's about their relationship struggles.
I'm
not interested. I'm not a big fan of Simone, so I don't think I would want the book. That's how I am. I'm like kind of biased. I don't like you. I'm not gonna read your book. So next is Contessa. Oh, so now it's Contessa in the house and the intervention. So the first thing is she invites the women, everybody's there. Is having everyone put their phones in their bucket.
I
I
wouldn't
was
have did that.
dying the way Quad and Dr. Jackie reacted. Dr. Jackie, it made sense. She's a freaking doctor. She's a gynecologist. Someone could be in labor having a baby. She needs to have her phone on deck. Quad on the other hand, I'm like, what the hell you got on your phone? Like, hello, she left.
No, I'm not leaving. No, I don't care. I'm not a doctor. I'm not leaving my phone. I'm not leaving my phone. It's not that serious. Like what? Because listen, if you don't need me to use my phone, I'll put it on vibrate, whatever. But you're not gonna give me just an ultimatum in order to come in. I would have did like the rest of them. Okay, goodbye.
I was like, what the hell? You know, you have a passcode for your phone. Like, what do you expect them to do with your phone?
But I don't think that was the issue. I think it was just leaving it, like not having your phone, not having that access in case something happens. Like, no, you would leave your phone when you're having kids and stuff. You would leave your phone.
Yes. So
I ain't leaving my phone.
I'm getting dressed, coming out, and someone's like, "Oh, leave your phone in the front." I'm calling my kids. Look, I'm not gonna have my phone. They know. Call my mother. Call whatever for emergency. And production is there. Like, I don't understand why it was such a big deal to leave your phone. And if you worry about someone going through your phone, is passcode. I didn't get it, but maybe Quad had a man. That was, I don't know what the issue was, but I was like, what's the big deal?
I'm with Quad. I ain't leaving it either. And I'm with Jackie, even though she's a doctor still.
So you would have left the party. You would have left.
I would have left. You're not gonna give I would have left. Nobody's not gonna give me an ultimatum when I walk in the door. You're not even gonna tell me beforehand, like a text, like, listen, when you come in, that at least before I leave, I can have the choice. But you're not gonna tell me when I walk in the door to leave my phone. You're not, I need to know why. And then when you give me a stupid reason, well, I'm definitely not leaving my phone at that point.
I didn't think anything was of it. If I'm around people that maybe Quad don't trust their asses, and you see why. If I'm around people I trust, I would be like, all right, here's my phone.
Again, it's not about trust, though. It's not about trust. It's about my connection. Okay, it's about having a connection to the outside world, and that's the only connection that I have in case something happens. In case I need a business, in case there's business on the table, anything, family, emergencies, whatever. No one's gonna tell me I need to disconnect from that, and you're not gonna give me that ultimatum at the door. You should have told me this beforehand.
Comment below. Would you leave your phone or would you walk out like Quad did? But she came back anyway.
Did she? Because they ran after her and she still didn't leave her phone.
Oh, she didn't leave. I mean, she has a nephew at home with her mother, so who knows? But she didn't want to leave her phone. Jackie did the same thing. Jackie eventually kept her phone. Then Contessa tells all of them about this is an intervention for Heavenly.
Mm-hmm.
Quad was not happy. Anila's swollen face wasn't happy. And Jackie wasn't happy about it. Jackie just sat there like, Quad was not, and Anila looked very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I was in agreement with that. If I had a friend and I was invited somewhere and then I found out it was an ambush, I too would feel like, this is going to be very awkward because I wouldn't want the friend to think I was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And two, if I don't really have beef with that friend, I wouldn't even want to be there. Like, Quad didn't have any squash their beef. It wasn't that big. It was a comment about her sleep with married men. Anila, she said something about Anila, which was true. So they didn't really have, and Jackie and Heavenly are really good friends. So they didn't really have major issues with Jackie's her YouTube channel. It was Contessa who had major issues, Toya and Simone because of comments she made about Cecil. So if you guys were the ones that had the major issues, you guys should have had the intervention. Why include other people that didn't really have any issues with?
Because I think it was like, because she queued up a lot of stuff. I think she said something about all of them.
Mm-hmm. But they weren't that mad about it.
They weren't, but I guess it kind of drove the point home that you're talking about your friends, whether they're mad about it or not. My point is, you talking about all your friends. Like, why? Like, even though they're not mad at it, it still kind of like holds weight to my point.
Well, if I was Quad and Leela and Dr. Heavenly, I too would be mad because I'm like, okay, you bring me in as this intervention. Me and my friend got over this. Because remember, Heavenly's friends with the other three. They're cool.
Yeah, I would have definitely. I probably, if I was in their shoes, like Jackie and them, I probably would let Heavenly know, like, listen, I was not down with. As soon as she walked in, I would let her know, like, listen, I did not know this is happening. I'm not down with this. do your thing. Whatever y'all gonna do it. But I just want you to know I'm not down with this.
Yeah, but this scene was funny because now Heavenly arrives and everyone's just sitting there like, okay, hi. And she's like, oh, you all look nice. And then his squad making her a strong drink and she's sitting down. It was just like very awkward, but I was like dying. So here she's sitting down. Oh, we watching a movie?
Yes.
Boom. Everything she said about everybody, like talk about Dr. Jackie and her husband who's cheated on her. She talked about Toya, of course, and how she's, how she treats Eugene and not doing anything with her life and how she's stupid. Talk about Anila not having a college degree because Anila made the comment like, oh, that Heavenly's just a doctor. She made a comment with Quad's face getting Botox and fillers, and Quad told, I'm younger than all of y'all. Look better than all y'all. I don't need that. But it's true. When I saw Toya on Watch What Happened Live, it looked like she just sent her face. She was like,
no, Quad, not Toya, right?
Quad. Yeah, her face was swollen. And again, Contessa, the stuff she said about her husband. So they played all those videos, and Heavenly was like, her laugh is so annoying.
Yeah, that was weird. I thought that was like, she was like, that was just very awkward, the way she was laughing. Like, it was almost like some kind of something mental. Like, what is wrong with you? I always apply it to sociopaths.
I think she's nervous. I think it was more like a nervous laugh, more so that she thought it was funny. It was like, oh my God, they caught me. What the hell? Oh my God.
Yeah, and I think she did try to laugh it off like it's a joke, y'all. Like, have a sense of humor. So I guess that too. Besides, I guess she's not so much of a sociopath. Like, she probably wanted to let them, like, that was her point. Like, this is a joke. Like, take a joke, have a sense of humor.
So what really set it off while they playing the video and the scene comes up about her talking about Contessa and Scott, she said, Scott is not going to change. And that's when Contessa lost it. Toya lost it. And it went on. And Heavenly said, I meant what I said. She didn't retract anything. She didn't negate from what she said, which I liked about her. She didn't try to backpedal like, oh, well, I didn't mean it in that way. That's not what I meant to say. She actually said, yeah, bitches, this is what I said. I said what I said, and I'm going to continue saying what I said. So I like that she didn't do that. She went at Toya. She said, your husband said you're the worst decision he ever made. I was like,
yeah.
Her and Toya going at it.
Yeah, Heavenly is brutal with her opinions.
That was like a Marlo moment for me when she said that.
Yeah.
It was one of those Marlo moments. So here go Contessa crying. They go outside of that movie room and Heavenly's trying to hug her. She don't want to hug. They going back and forth. Contessa take all that damn wig off her head. And it was just mayhem between the two of them. I also like the fact that they all sat in that room and were like, look, Jack was like, let them handle it.
Yeah, I would have too. But I would have tried to mediate it though. I don't know if I would have sat right there screaming and shit is going on. I probably would have.
I would have left it alone. I would not have intervened. I would not have tried to.
I would have, after a while, if I hear screaming still and there's no resolution, I would have got up and tried to make some sense of it.
So Heavenly said, she said to Contessa, and I think these things got to her, she said, you're mad at your husband, not me.
Do you agree with that?
Well, this is how I feel about the whole thing. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, I agree with Contessa. So I watched Heavenly's YouTube channel, and she mentioned that she thinks something's either wrong with Contessa or she's using this for storyline, because she said Contessa was talking to her on the phone almost every day when she was doing these YouTube videos. Contessa knew about what she was saying in these YouTube videos. And was
no, I think she said that she probably didn't watch it though. Like, I think she didn't watch it.
Contessa didn't watch it.
So I can see that happening. Like, later on, they get around to watching it and be like, wait a minute, Elisa said that about me?
That was Heavenly's point, that it was about 8 months. And if Contessa felt the way she did, she could have confronted her before the show started. That like, why are we friends and you feel that you heard all this negative stuff about me? You didn't even call me on the phone like, really, Heavenly? You saying all this negative stuff about me? Mind you, multiple videos. You wait until the show airs and now you decide to talk about it and be angry now.
I don't know, but she stopped talking to her. But when the show started, they already said that they weren't speaking for months at that time, before the show even started. So it wasn't like the show started and then bam, she stopped speaking to her and then had a problem. It seemed like before the show started, they had already had a problem, but Contessa didn't confront her about it. So listen, if that's the case, if I'm on the show, I would wait to, first of all, if it was me, I probably wouldn't even speak to the friend. Like a lot of times if I have a friend where I feel like they did something real messed up to me, I'm not even going to give them a chance to speak about it. It's done. It's over. We're never going to speak again in life. So I don't know if that's where Contessa was with it, or maybe she just needed time and didn't want to speak to her in that moment. She needed her space. So it's not, no one's going to give me a time frame of when I need to confront somebody. Like maybe I need space and I'll confront you when I get around to it. I got other things going on.
I think what Heaven was trying to say, that even within that time, like she came to her daughter's Alora's birthday party. She came to her Heavenly Beauty thing, her Heavenly Beauty, whatever stuff she was having, wig show. So she felt, okay, Contessa was somewhat friendly with her during those times, didn't say anything. Now all of a sudden you would ambush me.
No, if I was Contessa and like I said, I was still with my god kids. Like I'm still gonna be there for them. If me and my friends are not speaking, I'm still gonna be there for their kids. That has nothing to do with the kids. I'm not gonna be mad at the kids. I'm not gonna take it out on them, especially if I have a relationship with them. I don't know what Contessa's relationship was with Heavenly's kids. And even if she didn't have a relationship, I still would be there for the kids. Same thing with her business. I would be there. Like if I knew my friend was, trying to get business deals going, she finally got things going, and I might go and support.
I wouldn't be there, but that's what Heavenly said on her podcast. I agree with Contessa. Because Contessa wasn't trying to just, I think she did it in multiple ways. It was more so, I'm going to get Heavenly back. Like Quad said, this was a get back. This is not beyond an intervention. Because it was like, oh, Heavenly, you did this. We want you to fix the issues. Like, bitch, we're going to get you back. I'm putting you in a spot, and here everybody's going to attack you like a wild animal. That's what Contessa did to Heavenly. And the same thing she said to Heavenly, you wanted to talk about it on YouTube, so I'm going to do it live on television. She didn't want to do the one-on-one off camera. She wanted to put Heavenly on the spot on TV and make a scene out of it.
Okay, she's being a good host. Yeah, she's being. I would too. Yeah,
I would have done the same thing. So I think I'm Team Contessa on that.
Me too.
I had to separate that I like Heavenly. So a lot of times I like, because I like the character. When they do something wrong, I'm like, I kind of side with them. But this one, I agree with Contessa. It wasn't ambush, but it all depends if I wanted to continue my friendship with that person, how I would go about handling it.
Exactly. Yeah.
At this point, Contessa don't give a damn about having a friendship with Heavenly. She probably don't care. Like, I don't care about that bitch. So
I think so too.
That's why she did the way she did. If she really cared about Heavenly, cared about their friendship, she would have handled it differently. Even if it was on camera, it could have been on one-on-one. But the fact that she involved everyone, it was an ambush, is because I think at this point she don't care about their friendship.
I think so too. And I don't know if I would forgive it either, especially what makes it worse is when she did the intervention and what Heavenly called an ambush, is that Heavenly never really said sorry. She never, and I get it. Like, if that's how you feel, fine. But just respect how I feel and maybe tell me, like, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like, apologize for putting the business out on YouTube. Like, you don't got to apologize for how you feel, but apologize at least for the way that you made me feel if I'm bringing it to your attention. And you did put it on YouTube. But I think what Heavenly doubled down on what she did. And that's probably what would have closed the door for me and not have tried to mend the friendship, is if you're not holding yourself accountable for anything.
Well, the one thing I think I disagree with Contessa was like, oh, you put my business out there. Heavenly did not put her business out there. Contessa put her own business out there. I've watched Heavenly's all her YouTube videos, and she didn't say anything we didn't know about Contessa. If you go back to Heavenly's videos, she did not say anything that was not spoken about on the show. Now, her talking about it on the show, on her YouTube channel, was it wrong? Okay, maybe that's your friend, but she didn't put Contessa's business out there. She did not. This was stuff
She
that
didn't put it
Contessa
out
talked
there, but
about.
then when you start judging, it becomes a different thing when
She
you
was
start
talking
judging
about
it and giving and giving your opinion on it and being hopeless about what I have hope for in my relationship. And you're basically telling me your true feelings. Like, I'm trying to work things out with my husband, and you're basically saying basically that I'm stupid, it's never gonna get better. Like, to me, that's so hurtful to me. Especially if I'm trying to make it work with the man.
That's the point. But Contessa, that's the way I think she should explain that way, but not that she's blaming Heavenly for putting her business out there. No, Contessa, you put your own business out there by talking about your husband.
I don't think she was. I don't think I get it. I get what she's saying. Heavenly's a smart woman. I would at least take some type of responsibility for putting it, like for putting it on YouTube. And she even Heavenly said it on the YouTube. She even said, like, on the one that you're talking about that she just put up, is that she should not have allowed the viewers to engage her with the questions. She did answer it honestly, but she didn't have to really, like, go in on her relationship.
Yeah, but Heavenly does. We do reviews on the shows. Heavenly does reviews too. So at this point, she says she's gonna continue doing reviews. So Contessa's relationship is part of doing a review. She has to make that decision. Do I want to continue reviewing the show, doing reviews of the show, which she doesn't have to because we do a great job doing the reviews.
Yes.
For her. Or should I value my friendship? And I think at this point, she may not value these people as friends. It could be like,
I don't think so either.
I have to think Heavenly is business savvy. YouTube is where she promotes her brand. She might not care about that much having a friendship with Contessa. If you have, it could be to her and her head, these are just co-workers I'm talking trash about. Who cares? And it's building up momentum on the storyline.
No, I think she does. That's where the delusional part comes in with Heavenly, and why I think, like, she's just playing it so, like, dumb, like she's not educated or something. But she's just like, she really, to me, I think she values Contessa's relationship, her friendship. Like, she really seems to be hurt about it, because that's what she kept saying throughout her YouTube and throughout the first couple of episodes up until this third episode. Like, she kept saying how much they talked all the time, how she really, like, loves Contessa. So I really do think she values it. I just don't think she has enough respect. And I guess it goes back to what Toya says. Maybe she doesn't have friends.
Well, she says she has friends, but I think she's in her head, she's thinking they should understand this is business. I'm making money off of me talking trash.
I don't think she got friends.
She says she got 4 friends. But I think that's where her head is. Like, they should know this is business. So me talking trash about them, they should understand this is business.
That's what I'm saying. You can't. I just don't think like, if you have real friends, you don't hurt them, especially if you see that they're hurt. You should still do something about it. Say sorry, try to fix it. Like, I'm not gonna just, if I see my friend is hurt and I know I'm responsible for it, even if those are my true feelings, I still would somehow, like, hold myself. I would do something if I'm telling their business out and I'm judging it. There's something. Heavenly can't say she's not responsible for nothing at all. Nothing. She's not taking accountability for anything when it comes to Contessa. Like, she said it to us on the YouTube, like, maybe she shouldn't have did this, maybe she shouldn't have did that. But she's not going to Contessa with it and at least validating how Contessa feels as her friend, to try to kind of, make her feel better. And I just think, like, when you have a friend and you value that friend, there's some things you should do to, that's worth it. If that friendship is worth it, I just think there's certain things that you should do. Like, even if it is being a bigger person, even if it is, like, saying, like, listen, I'm sorry about how you feel. Say something to kind of, not let that friendship go to the wayside.
I agree, but I am Team Contessa. Heavenly was wrong. So that's how I ended them arguing back and forth about it. So I think eventually it's going to come to blows where Contessa is going to try to beat the hell out of Heavenly. I think that was, like, what the rumor was. So this was it. I think that was the end. They confronted Heavenly, or they tried to confront her. And we just have to wait and see what happens in upcoming episodes as far as Contessa, Heavenly, everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a recap of Married to Medicine episode 3, Stay tuned for our upcoming videos to discuss more about the show, and let's see what happens next.
Yes, and leave your comments down below. Tell us if you agree, disagree. Tell us why. We read all the comments.
Yes,
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we're gonna keep the videos coming. Yes,
share with others.
Yes, and view time counts.
Yes,
support, and that's supporting. So thank you guys for your support, and we'll be back again for episode 4.
Bye.
Toodles.